he knows how to score. He's mastered the art of scoring. And what I always like to say is that you have to understand defense if you want to be an effective scorer. And he understands that very well. So he controls his defender and he gets to the spots that he wants to get to score his basket.
Right now, in May 2026, Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks are just 8 wins away from something this franchise hasn't accomplished in over 50 years, an NBA championship. But what makes this run so remarkable isn't just how close they are to the ultimate prize. It's a historic way they are getting there. Night after night, the Knicks are delivering performances that even some of the greatest teams in franchise history never achieve, turning a season filled with hope into a legitimate championship chase. With New York rallying behind them and Madison Square Garden buzzing like never before, Brunson and the Knicks have a chance to end decades of heartbreak and create a legacy that will be remembered forever.
Pouring it on. Brunson throws it up and Bridges throws it down.
Wow. Well, I'm going to take this highlight. Mikal Bridges.
The numbers alone don't seem real. The Knicks built a 47-point halftime lead against Atlanta, the largest halftime advantage in NBA playoff history. Then they swept Philadelphia, marking the franchise's first playoff sweep in a 7-game series since 1999. Along the way, they tied the NBA postseason record for most three-pointers made in a single game. But the records only tell part of the story. What's truly shocking is how effortless New York has made it look. Through their first 10 playoff games, they're outscoring opponents by nearly 20 points per night, a margin that would rank among the most dominant postseason runs the league has ever seen. Meanwhile, in Dallas, the picture couldn't be more different. The Mavericks stumbled to a disappointing 26-56 record, finished 12th in the Western Conference, and found themselves searching for answers. Luka Doncic is gone. Jalen Brunson is gone. Even Mark Cuban, after selling the team, admitted there are decisions he wishes he could take back. At first glance, these stories seem unrelated. One franchise is chasing a championship, while the other is trying to figure out what went wrong. But in reality, they are connected by a single mistake. Most people think that mistake happened in 2022 when Dallas allowed Brunson to leave in free agency. The truth is it started much earlier, back on draft night in 2018. And what makes the story even more incredible is that Cuban didn't misjudge Brunson once. He misjudged him 3 separate times. Those mistakes didn't just cost Dallas a star. They helped build a Knicks team that's now on the verge of ending a 53-year championship drought. This version flows much better for a YouTube documentary and increases audience retention by creating a stronger mystery around Brunson and Dallas.
Brunson ahead of steam. He burrows in deep and scores! Wow.
By the summer of 2021, Jalen Brunson had already proven he could be a key piece next to Luka Doncic. He was getting better every season, producing whenever Dallas needed him, and helping the Mavericks win games. That made him eligible for a 4-year rookie extension worth up to $55 million. For Dallas, it was a reasonable investment. For Brunson, it felt like a no-brainer. He was ready to sign immediately. Part of that urgency came from his family. Brunson had watched his father, Rick Brunson, spend years in the NBA without ever landing a major long-term contract. So this wasn't just about money. It was about security. The problem was that Dallas never seemed to understand that. Instead of putting the contract on the table, the Mavericks asked for more time. They wanted to evaluate the roster. They wanted to wait. Training camp arrived and still no offer came. Behind the scenes, Dallas believed Brunson wouldn't have a strong market in free agency anyway. They thought his value would land somewhere around 4 years and $45 million. That assumption would become one of the most expensive mistakes in franchise history. Even after missing their first opportunity, the Mavericks kept getting second chances. Before the 2021-22 season began, Brunson's camp made their position clear. If an extension wasn't completed before opening night, they weren't negotiating during the season. Then Brunson took another leap. Whenever Luka missed time, he stepped up. He earned a starting role and looked far more valuable than Dallas had projected. In January, Brunson's camp even reopened the door and indicated he would still sign the extension if the Mavericks offered it immediately. Dallas hesitated again. Before the trade deadline, another path emerged through a renegotiation and extension. Once again, the Mavericks did nothing. Only after the trade deadline did Dallas finally offer the same 4-year, $55 million deal that Brunson would have gladly accepted months earlier. By then, The situation had completely changed. Brunson had already outgrown the contract. He knew it, his representatives knew it, and eventually the rest of the league knew it too. What once looked like a fair offer now felt like an insult. Then came the playoffs. When Luka suffered a calf injury and missed the first 3 games against Utah, Brunson was suddenly asked to carry the franchise. He responded with the best basketball of his career, averaging 32 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists over those games while helping Dallas take control of the series. His 41-point explosion in Game 2 announced to the entire NBA that he was more than a supporting player. Even after Luka returned, Brunson remained a star. Together, they powered Dallas all the way to the Western Conference Finals, forming one of the most productive offensive duos in basketball at that point. Keeping Brunson seemed inevitable. Dallas had his bird rights. They could offer more money than anyone else. Mark Cuban publicly spoke as if the deal was already done. But while the Mavericks believed they still held all the leverage, the Knicks were quietly making their move. Rick Brunson joined Tom Thibodeau's coaching staff in New York. Leon Rose began creating salary cap space. Every sign pointed toward a serious pursuit. Dallas still thought money would solve everything. What they failed to realize was that this decision had stopped being about money a long time ago. This version feels much more like an ESPN Our Secret-based documentary and naturally builds suspense toward Brunson's departure to New York. Here's a rewritten version with stronger pacing, cleaner storytelling, and a more dramatic YouTube documentary feel. By the summer of 2022, Dallas still had one final opportunity to make things right. The only question was whether Mark Cuban was willing to pay what Jalen Brunson had become worth. Cuban's vision was something close to Fred VanVleet money, roughly 5 years and $105 million. For a former second-round pick, that sounded substantial. And if negotiations somehow failed, Dallas believed it still had leverage.